Welcome back to the Oakland Athletics franchise, and this is going to be another monthly recap. This is a thing that we do at the end of every month where we go over stuff that went over in the month, promotions, demotions, trades, anything that happened, who's doing well, who's doing bad, all that kinds of stuff. And this time we're going to be going over the month of July, as that is the month we have just finished, and we are now entering August. And at the end of July, our Athletics are sitting at 62-42 at the season, which is first place in the AL West. And really, the teams aren't really that close at gearing up at the Athletics, as the Angels are 5.5 games behind, and the Mariners are 8 games behind. Let's take a look at some of the demotions and transactions, as Walter Zambrano was called up for 15 games in the big leagues, and he has now been sent back down to AAA to work on his craft, as he was not performing well at all as the third baseman. They called him up to take over third base when Jed Lowrie got injured as the starting shortstop, so Lowrie is on the DL, and Solarte moved over to third, and that opened up a spot at third for Zambrano, but he hasn't proven he's ready for the big leagues yet, so he was hitting 170 with a 220 OBP in 15 games, so they sent him back down to AAA. And to replace Zambrano, instead of just moving Solarte back or calling up somebody else or switching around somebody, what they did was they went out and brought back Chris Coghlan. So Chris Coghlan, the utility guy who mainly played second for this team last year, is now back, and he's going to be playing third base. He is a third baseman. He can play third base in real life, so the Athletics have switched his position to third base. He is now a main third baseman. That's where he's going to be playing, as Solarte is going to be sticking at shortstop. So Chris Coghlan is back. He was still sitting in free agency. Nobody signed him, so the Athletics now have him back for the rest of this season. They signed him a one-year deal. Two other guys needed to be demoted, as Kendall Graven was sent down to AAA. He's now 2-0 with a 20 innings pitched and a .44 ERA and a .84 whip in AAA. He wasn't really getting too much pitching time in the major leagues. He was the long reliever, wasn't in the rotation, so he wasn't getting consistent starts. He wasn't getting really much time as the long reliever because, well, the long reliever just doesn't get much time in this game. So rather than just kind of let him rot up there, he was going to be sent down to AAA, and now he's performing pretty well down there. While Mark Zepchinski was not performing well in the major leagues, he had a 5.14 ERA in 28 innings pitched as the left-handed setup guy, while Madsen's the right-handed setup guy. And 5 ERA for your setup guy is not good. 5 ERA is not good in the bullpen at all. So he was sent down to AAA. And so far in AAA, he also has a 5 ERA, so he's just not performing anywhere this season. The Athletics also have a few injuries to deal with. John Danks is still injured. He only has 1 to 6 days left on his injury. He has a fractured wrist. But the thing about John Danks is there's really no room in him for the rotation, so when he does come back, he's either going to be kind of DFA'd and sent to AAA, and hopefully they don't pick up his option, or he's going to be moved to the bullpen, depending on which is going to be easier, because there's no spot for him in the rotation, and the Athletics aren't really trying to send down anybody who does have options to make room for him. The other injuries are Ramon Benitez, who was going to be called up to take over as a starting catcher, and Vogt was going to move to left field, but Benitez broke his arm. He still has 3 to 4 weeks left on that injury. Jed Lowrie, of course, I mentioned that. Cartilage damage in his knee. He's out for 1 to 2 months, and he was probably going to be traded. He was definitely one of the trade pieces I was looking to trade, so that kind of eliminated that as we are through July. And I should have mentioned that that's the only 2 trades we made, or the only trade we made was that trade where we picked up the 2 relievers to strengthen up the back end of the bullpen, because the bullpen definitely cost us on the season last year, and it definitely was starting to struggle a bit this season. So I felt like making some bullpen additions was definitely useful. So Jed Lowrie is not going to be traded, obviously. He's going to be in the DL for quite a while. And now some of the league leaders on the teams. Solarte is hitting .340 on the season, which is still the best average in the American League. Billy Burns has 8 triples on the year, which is the best in the American League. Gerard Dyson has 31 stolen bases, which is not the best, but it's 3rd in the American League. The only people in front of him are Jose Altuve and Ellsbury. Altuve has 43 swipes bags, and Ellsbury has 33. While Sean Doolittle is leading the American League in saves with 37, and then Sonny Gray is no longer leading the league in ERA, but he's 2nd in the league in ERA, as he's 10-2 with a 2.03 ERA and a 1.03 WHIP. Moving on to the rotation, bullpen, and lineups, the rotation 1 to 5 is Sonny Gray, Henderson Alvarez, J.R. Newman, Tim Lincecum, and Jesse Hahn. In the bullpen, it's Liam Hendricks, Felix Dubront, Fernando Rodriguez, Arodys Vizcaíno, Ryan Madsen, Alex Torres, and Sean Doolittle. The lineup versus right-handed pitchers is center fielder Billy Burns, followed by second baseman Jose Miguel Fernandez, shortstop Yangervis Solarte, DH Chris Davis, first base Olsen, catching is Vogt, left field is Mark Canha, third base is Coghlan, right field is Dyson. Coghlan's probably going to be moved up because Vogt and Canha are definitely struggling a lot, so if Coghlan proves he can still hit, he's probably going to be slotted up above those guys, and those guys will move down in the lineup. And then against left-handed pitching, it's Burns in center field, second base Fernandez, third base Solarte, left field Davis, DH Olsen, first base Canha, catching is Vogt, shortstop Gonzalez, right field Pagan. I'm not sure why the left field DH first base position is all switched up like that. That's not going to be like that in most games against left-handed pitching. It'll still be Olsen at first, Canha in left, and Davis at DH. I don't know why that got all swapped around, but it's going to be the same thing basically as right-handed pitchers. Olsen at first, Davis at DH, and Canha in left. And now moving on to a thing that everybody wants to know about, the MLB draft. Now, of course, this did happen in June. I just completely forgot about it and forgot to add it into the last monthly recap, as I recorded it before I recorded the stuff for the monthly recap, so I kind of just forgot I had it stashed in my recordings. So now we're going over it here in the July recap, as we had the 19th overall pick, and in the first round, we drafted a bust. We did not have anybody fully scouted who was projected to go around that time, who was really just like a really good player. So I kind of took a shot at a guy who had a high potential, good MLB ETA, but he didn't have the full accuracy. I think it was like 3/4 accuracy, and I got screwed. Jason Vogel, a right-handed pitcher, is a 62 overall, C potential, 20 years old. But in the first round, in the compensation rounds, we took a guy who, this is actually a pick we got because we offered Josh Reddick we tendered him a qualifying offer, so we got the compensation round for him signing with the Blue Jays. And what we got was Eric Pedroza, a second baseman who is a 73 overall, A potential. He is definitely going to be in the big leagues sometime next season, I would predict. If not next season, then definitely the season after that. Second round, we took Nelson Corcoran, a first baseman, 57 overall, B potential, 18 years old. Third round, we took Jimmy Blanco. Jimmy! Third baseman, 65 overall, C potential, 22 years old. In the fourth round, we took a right-handed pitcher, Johnny Cummings, 62 overall, A potential, 19 years old. That's definitely a good pick right there. A potential pitcher in the fourth round. Fifth round, we took Jesus Mora, outfielder. He's 67 overall, C potential, 21 years old. Sixth round, we took Adrian Castro, a right-handed pitcher, 69 overall, B potential, and 23 years old. And in the seventh round, we took Benny Kaneko, right-handed pitcher, 62 overall, D potential, 22 years old. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for the July recap as we are heading into the month of August now. I've been your host, Jerseyborn, and I'm saying goodbye.